Well guys, here we are, my first real video I should say, of 2020, and obviously this year is going to be a big year because Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated is coming out this year. I am so excited to see more about this game. I cannot wait for more information to come out. But in the meantime, I wanted to kind of go back to the original Battle for Bikini Bottom, because obviously there were a lot of great things about this game, and I think one of the strongest points for this game is the levels that this game had. This game had some amazing, fun platforming levels. So today, I'll be ranking all 9 of Battle for Bikini Bottom's great levels. Well, except for the first one, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Let's get started with today's video. Alright, so the worst level is obviously Kelp Forest. The poor lighting and some of the confusing elements of the level make this level not that enjoyable to me as well as a lot of people. Also, towards the end of the level, there's obviously the very infuriating slide, which I had a lot of fun, quote-unquote, with when I did my Zak plays of it.
Holy cow, no! Oh my god, I can't do this. I can't win this. It's so hard.
So yeah, Kelp Forest, you know, it's not a horrible level, you know. It's just one of those levels that whenever I play a Battle for Bikini Bottom and I get enough golden spatulas to go into the chum bucket, I usually try to avoid Kelp Forest at all costs. Alright, next up is Goo Lagoon. Now, I feel like this is going to be a relatively unpopular opinion. This is just another one of those levels that I just kind of skip whenever I play. Like, usually I get enough golden spatulas in Jellyfish Fields and downtown Bikini Bottom to where usually I don't really need to go into Goo Lagoon. I can just move on, defeat Robot Sandy, and continue on to the second area of the game. But this level's not bad. It's just, in my opinion, it drags on a bit too long, and there's nothing really interesting in the level. I mean, there's a really good soundtrack in the level, and I mean, the level is good. Like, none of these levels are really bad or anything. It's just that this one is one I usually tend to kind of skip, simply because I don't think there's that much interesting in the level. Next up is Downtown Bikini Bottom. Now, Downtown Bikini Bottom, I really do like this level. I like this level quite a bit. We get introduced to Sandy, we get to figure out her moveset. I actually really like the rooftop segment. But kind of like Goo Lagoon, there's just not that much that happens to this level. I should say, in comparison to the other levels I haven't talked about yet. And yeah, I just don't really have that much of a soft spot for Downtown Bikini Bottom, but it is a really good level overall. Number 6 is Flying Dutchman's Graveyard. Now, I really struggled putting this one over Downtown Bikini Bottom, but I just like the overall vibe of the level. I like the Flying Dutchman getting his own level, and there's a lot of emphasis on the wall jumping, which really did not have a main presence in the actual, like, in any of the other levels, I should say. So, seeing it here, seeing it actually played out, and seeing some really, like, you know, interesting, like, kind of puzzles while using the wall jump, it was really cool. I just hope that in Rehydrated they make this level, like, it's obviously it's heavily green because of, you know, Flying Dutchman and all that. I just hope that they can really make this level stand out. So yeah, Flying Dutchman's Graveyard is a pretty good level. I like it quite a bit. Next up, Sand Mountain. Now this one is basically just a bunch of big slides, and I really do like the sliding levels in Battle for Bikini Bottom. And this is obviously a great one. There's 3 great slides. There's really not much to this level, which is maybe why I like it, because this is one of the simpler levels to complete. You basically just have to go down 3 slides, and there's some stuff in the level's hub world, kind of, that you can do. Like, there's the bungee jump and all that. There's the Sandy task. So there's quite a bit in this small area for you to do, and it's kind of in mid-game, so it's a nice breath of fresh air. Like, usually I would do Sand Mountain right before I go to Robot Patrick. So, yeah, it's a nice little slowdown before you get into the real thick of things with Patrick in the final area. Next up is the Mermaid. I really like the Mermaid. There's a lot to it that I think the developers really got to use their imagination, because everything kind of has set expectations, right? You know Jellyfish Fields is going to be a giant open field with jellyfish. We know downtown Bikini Bottom is going to be a bunch of skyscrapers and all that. And Goo Lagoon's going to be a nice big beach. But the Mermaid layer, all we really have to go on is it's an underground cave layer. And they could do anything that they wanted, and they really got to do that with the Mermaid layer. They really emphasized that with this different scenery, all the different golden spatches you can get, whether it be flipping antennas with Patrick using the throw fruit, or using throw fruit as Patrick also to get across different platforms and pushing buttons. There's just a lot that they got to do here with Mermaid layer that really made the level stand out and feel more like the developers got to have fun making it, especially with the Rube Goldberg kind of experiment thing. I don't know what people call it, the ball rolling room. I don't know. That used to frustrate me when I was a kid, but once I really started to understand it, I really realized how kind of cool that segment was. I don't know how people view that segment. I know a lot of people get frustrated with it, but I don't know if people like it or not, but I personally love that segment. So yeah, the Mermaid layer, I think in my personal opinion, is a really good level. Next up is SpongeBob's Dream. Now, SpongeBob's Dream I really, really like just because of how much variety there is within the level itself. Kind of like Sand Mountain, it kind of has a hub world, kind of, and then there's different things that you go into, in this case being the dreams. So basically every single character has their own dream sequence, and it's really awesome. It obviously bases itself off of the episode where SpongeBob went into other people's dreams. So, going into each dream just a little bit, I believe Sandy's dream is first. It's another giant slide, and I think it's the best slide in the game. Not just because of how long it is, and how awesome it is, and how kind of, like, windy and confusing it could be, but just because of, like, you know, the kind of atmosphere that it's in. It's in this, like, Texas, you know, you have cows, like, flying in the air, throwing pies at you. It's really, really humorous. It's really, really cute. I absolutely love Sandy's Dream. Then I believe you go on to Squidwards Dream, and Squidwards Dream is probably my favorite, just simply because of, like, you know, you're hopping on musical notes, and I used to play clarinet in high school and middle school, so I obviously have a strong attachment to the clarinet, but either way, it's a very fun platforming segment, and I do really like the platforming in Battle for Bikini Bottom. And then we have Mr. Krabs Dream, which is the hardest, like one of the hardest parts of the game in my personal opinion. You have to take down a bunch of enemies, you know, making sure to get as many as you can so that you can get the Krabby Patty slices to make a staircase so that you can destroy the Duplicatrons and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And once you defeat all the robots, you get a golden spatula. So yeah, Mr. Krabs' Dream is really, really fun. And then you have Patrick's Dream. Now this is where it gets interesting. Obviously, we all know, at least if you're a Battle for Bikini Bottom fan, that there is the cut Patrick's Dream, which is in a desert kind of world. And what we got was an empty void with Patrick and all that kind of stuff. And we know that Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated is bringing back cut content, so I'm wondering if Patrick's Dream will be in there. Though they did say that they didn't want to do anything to change the actual game, they just wanted to add on to the game that was already there. So I'm kind of wondering if maybe it won't be an actual level, if it'll be a bonus kind of thing, or if you can turn it on and off, like which kind of Patrick's Dream you want. I don't know, but either way, Patrick's Dream in the actual game is just basically talking to him and then getting the golden spatula from him. It's pretty simple. It's basically the inside of Patrick's mind at all times. But yeah, overall, SpongeBob's Dream, I know I spent a long time on this one, but SpongeBob's Dream is a great level, a lot of different intricacies to it, and that's why it took so long to explain. It's just overall a great level, and I think this one's a fan favorite as well. Number 2 is Jellyfish Fields. Now, I think this one is mostly based on nostalgia. It's just the first level of the game, and it's just beautifully crafted. I think the platforming and the introduction to the robots and the cutscenes of Squidward, and just overall, it's a tutorial level that doesn't feel like a tutorial level. Like, you're allowed to explore and do your own thing. The game isn't holding your hand trying to teach you everything. Basically, that's a whole optional feature in SpongeBob's house, but regardless, this is a tutorial level where you get to learn about SpongeBob and Patrick's movesets, but again, it doesn't feel like a tutorial. It doesn't drag on. It's a perfectly length level with a cute little boss at the end, and I personally think Jellyfish Fields is a great level. Absolutely love it. And my number 1 favorite level is Rock Bottom. Now, I feel like this is going to be an unpopular opinion. Let me know down in the comments below if it is or not. But Rock Bottom is so great. I love the platforming segments with SpongeBob and Sandy. The level can be a little bit confusing and even a little broken at times, especially if you're like a speedrunner and all that, and you know the glitches of the game. But Rock Bottom, in my personal opinion, is just a beautiful level. Apparently, from what I've heard, Rock Bottom looks absolutely gorgeous. And I believe we've actually seen screenshots of it, and it does look really, really good. So I'm interested to see how the neon colors of the lights brighten up the scene. And I've seen Shift's video talking about Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated and how they're trying to add more detail to the museum, and I'm very excited about that. The museum is one of my favorite segments in the game because it has interesting platforming, some robot combat, some lasers, some cool, like, it's really cool. It's one of my favorite segments of the game, and overall, Rock Bottom is my personal favorite Battle for Bikini Bottom level in the game. So there you have it, guys. I have ranked the Battle for Bikini Bottom levels, all 9 of them. I didn't count the boss fights, but if I were to rank the boss fights, it'd actually probably go in order of playing them, actually. Robot Sandy being my least favorite, Robo Patrick being my second favorite, and then Robo SpongeBob being my first. I'm just saying that because I don't think I'm going to do a whole video about the bosses, because there's really only 3 of them. So let me know what kind of Battle for Bikini Bottom content you guys would like. I'm so excited to be getting to make this kind of content this year with you know, the game coming out and all that. I'm very excited to see how this game is. Obviously, I know Purple Lamp Studios is working very hard to make this game great, and I cannot wait to see the final result. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and until next time, I'll see you guys in the next one.